Hey everyone, I'm a little bored in the wintertime and decided to do some work in my garage. And the latest thing I just did was I bought a tent garage, set it out back, a nice 20 by 20, and I was going to use it for painting cars and then storing stuff. Well, of course I filled it up with junk and that never happened. So I decided to take my garage space and kind of make a temporary paint booth out of it. And of course, you know when you're doing body work, you get dust all over everything and all your welders and just anything and everything, all your tools just get that dust goes everywhere. So I started out just kind of closing in my ceiling with plastic, as you can see. And I figured that would kind of help hold the heat down here also. The backside there is all just already solid wood. Then there's a loft up there for all my junk that I don't want down here. Set a pull downstairs, as you can see. So after I did that, I said, you know what? I got a lot of that plastic left over. Let's go make something else out of it. And sitting up in the eaves was a bunch of scrap wood. And there's what's left of that pile now. So I took and I went like the old shades in your house for the windows and made a bunch of wood and plastic roll-up shades that just kind of roll right up and tuck up to the ceiling when you're not using them. Now, as you can see now, all the way around my lift I have these little drop-down plastic rolls. So that will now be my paint booth. And if I need to move them, like say this one's on the inside of the track of the, back up, the inside track of the garage door, so you would have a hard time opening the garage door if you had that one panel down. But the only problem was my compressor is right there, so the plastic would have come down and gotten real close to the head of the compressor and then tried to skirt down the end right there. So I'm going to leave it like that for now. If I need to change them, 2 screws, they come right out and I can kind of move those wherever I want them. And the idea is I still have some space between the top of the door and it anyway, so even if I had to drop down, I could still open that door probably about a foot before it hits the plastic. So it'll allow for some airflow after I do whatever painting to kind of come and go around the top and the bottom of the door. And over here, of course the four-wheeler wouldn't be here, but right there between that panel and that panel is one that's only about 2 feet wide. So I figured I could use that for like an entry door when I want to kind of come and go from the booth. I dropped them all down. It does really nice. It encloses the whole thing quite well. Only thing I would suggest is when you're doing them on the ground, tape the seams together, because when they're in the air and you're trying to wrap your hands around them and do both sides at the same time, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. It's not perfectly airtight, of course, where each panel touches each other, but it's good enough. It's kind of like those panels at the meat packing factory where they come in and out of the supermarket with the fork trucks. Kind of what it reminds me of, just large versions of that. So that's it. It's another Redneck Invention paint booth for I don't know, I think I'm into it for $8, and that was for the clamps. Everything else is just junk I had laying around. Yep, thanks for watching. Take care.